For my second New York Times assignment, I read an article titled "The Rational Choices of Crack Addicts," which was written by John Tierney on September 16th, 2013. The purpose of this article was to inform the audience of a study completed by Dr. Hart regarding regarding addiction in people who were addicted to crack and meth. Many people, including Dr. Hart, before he completed the study, believed that the majority of the people who did these drugs were indeed addicts and could not resist doing these drugs. They were helpless when they were in front of them, whether or not they did them or not. However, this study challenges that belief, and according to Dr. Hart, now 80 to 90% of people who did use these drugs were indeed not addicts, and instead used these drugs to escape whatever their troubles might be, often people who are in very low-income areas, who are very poverty-stricken, and instead used these drugs just to feel happiness, didn't in fact need them or were addicted to them. Because of this, Dr. Hart believes that because they were able to pass up on the immediate opportunity to get high in order to receive money at a later date, which was a choice that they made because they were able to make the rational choice regarding money, that they weren't actually addicted. So that's kind of the basis of what the article was about, was the study regarding addiction. Most of the people used to study were from poverty or poverty-stricken areas. I learned a lot from this article. First, it kind of reminded me that addiction, not everything is known about it yet, that there still needs to be a lot of studies done on the causes and what symptoms actually define addiction, because clearly there's still a lot of questions in that area. It also taught me that often in poverty-ridden areas, drugs seem to be the biggest problem and main problem, and in fact, the drugs might actually just be a secondary problem, and there are other primary problems that lead to the secondary drug use. So if you want to fix these areas and help the people in these areas, maybe the attention should be shifted away from drug use into things that might cause people to want to escape and be happy. So there's more primary important reasons and problems that need to be addressed before drug use. If I wanted to do more research on this topic, I would definitely look into the other researchers and experts in this field that were mentioned in the article and cited in the article. For example, Craig R. Rush, who is a psychologist studying stimulant abuse at the University of Kentucky, was quoted quite often in this, and I would definitely look at his research, as well as Dr. David Nutt, who is an expert in this field, who is cited several times in this article. In regards to this course, I believe the main aspect that it related to is ethics. In Chapter 3, we discussed ethical issues a lot, and in this study, they gave people who they thought could be addicted to drugs or were addicted to drugs more drugs, and that could definitely harm them in some way, definitely doesn't help them. And I think this raises a lot of ethical concerns on whether or not that is okay and should be done. Maybe they thought that the results and the possible benefits for doing the study outweighed the risks. Regardless, though, I do believe it questions a lot of ethical decisions made regarding drug use in people in the study. Something else we've talked a lot about in this class, and that I've learned a lot from reading in this class, is that you can't automatically believe everything you read in research, that you need to question it and do more research before you fully understand something. And because this article, I'd never really read anything like this before, no other research exactly like this was quoted in the article, I would want to see more research done that mimics the same results and you get the same results as, and learn more about this topic before I fully understand it and believe it 100%. And I think that's something we've learned a lot about in this class. So yeah, that's my article.